Hello, I'm Sura. I'm a meditation coach and trainer. Today, talking about work-life balance, how corporations can benefit from taking an energetic and spiritual approach. How would this affect the bottom line? How would it affect the health of your employees, the health of your organization, and essentially looking at what is the energy of your organization or corporation, and how does that affect your output? These days, a lot of people experience stress. So if the overall energy of an organization is at stress, there's going to naturally be a lower level of output, quality of work as a result. Stress costs organizations $300 billion a year, according to the World Health Organization, due to higher healthcare premiums, employee absenteeism. Employees will call in sick even though they're not sick, they're just sick of work. How many times have you heard that corporations suck your soul? Why do people say that corporations suck your soul, and what can companies do to support the soul of their employees? What changes can they make? I think one of the first places that organizations can make changes is in their environment. How often do you walk into a corporate office building and just feel your energy drop? You immediately start to feel drained. And there are a number of factors that go into this. This is the setup of the workspace, the amount of natural light versus lighting like fluorescent light, which is very draining to one's energy system, the level of flow that you have in the work environment, if it's cluttered, if it's messy or noisy, all these things affect how well we work. And why can't we work in spaces that are beautiful, that promote a sense of well-being, even relaxation? Because we all know that we work best when we feel balanced, when we're calm, when we're relaxed. So having enough fresh air, for example, circulating fresh air into the building, fresh chi, is vital. Once you have stagnant energy in the office building and you keep just cycling that energy, it's very depleting. It's naturally depleting. So always having fresh chi, taking advantage of greenery and fresh plants or colors, things that add to the ambiance of the experience of the organization. If you want to employ a mindfulness program, having a chime or a bell at every hour to remind people to take a breath and to center themselves in the present moment could be a nice addition. Ensuring that spaces for dedicated activities are separate. So I can't tell you how often I've seen organizations implement meditation rooms, for example, right across from the elevator where there's a lot of noise, or there aren't any windows or beautiful paintings in the meditation rooms. They feel entrapped or enclosed. So making sure that spaces that you use for specific intentions are separate. If you've got the kitchen area, make sure that's separate from the work area, so that you have these contained spaces where people can work. Also managing the level of noise flow, making sure that people are ergonomically fit at their desk. If people are slouching all day, if you just even slouch over, feel your energy just by curling your shoulders and looking down. And notice what that does to your breath and your feelings of presence, and also your energy when you curl forward. You have less access to your breath and your energy than if you're sitting up straight in a good posture. So ensuring that your workers have resources to balance themselves, ensuring that they have programs, because so many people suffer from stress, making sure that they have access to stress reduction, relaxation, or mindfulness programs, so that they can learn how to connect to themselves, be more aware of their internal landscape and their feeling. Because as they become more mindfully aware, it actually adds to the levels of focus, productivity, workflow, and communication at the workplace. When we have more mindfulness, uh, it's easier to communicate with your coworkers, for example. So, giving our employees access to these inner resources are important, because when people don't feel like they're being taken care of, if they feel like a machine or a workhorse, they're going to naturally perform at a lower level. These days, what's really important is meaning and purpose. And if somebody's spending the entire day on work that they have no real influence over or stake in or interest in, it's going to be very draining for them at the end of the day. If they're just sitting in front of a computer, putting output out without receiving anything back. It's very important today that companies have purpose and mission and vision that their workers can connect to. They feel like they're contributing to something meaningful and positive in the world. That's important, because if you're just doing this automatic default every day, it's draining to the energy system, it's draining to the spirit. And at the end of the day, you go to sleep and you're tired, but not in a good way, not like you fully utilized your whole self and your resource. You feel kind of drained and tired in a bad way, which doesn't allow you to rest well. So chronic stress affects our mental energy, it affects our ability to have good sleep. It also affects our immunity and our health. So ensuring that our employees have meaningful work, that they have power over, that they have a stake in, that they're able to express themselves freely. One of the reasons that people say that corporations suck their soul is because they have to hang themselves up at the door when they come in every morning. If people feel that they can't be their authentic selves because there are unspoken tensions in the workplace, there's political dynamics, there's hierarchy, there's ego-based agenda, and people don't feel safe and secure in themselves and being themselves and expressing themselves and their ideas, then you're going to have a limitation of energy flow that happens at the workplace. So when you introduce mindfulness programs, it helps people to get connected to their deeper, true, authentic self, and being able to be themselves at the workplace with greater ease and connection. Having that sense of collaboration is so important, openness. So giving your employees flexibility at the workplace, meaning options to work from home, to lessen their hours as long as they're making their goals and their deadlines and their output, giving them a sense of autonomy and freedom over their work is vital. I think that when people feel like they have to kowtow to someone else constantly about their time and energy, that's very draining. So it's about empowering your employees to choose how they want to work, giving them that flexibility, having a more open system, a collaborative system, where people can share and be themselves, be their authentic selves, is really important. I think that oftentimes what happens with a lot of stress and tension at the workplace is that it gets trickled down from top management. And this is why it's so important that leaders have resources for themselves to do their inner work, to have a practice for developing themselves every day, developing their levels of awareness, connection to their inner genius, their higher self, so that they can think more easily out of the box, think more strategically, receive those innovative ideas that really give their company that forward leading edge, is vital. Because oftentimes what happens is that stress gets trickled down from leadership, from management, and the leader is like the fulcrum point of the organization. It's the fulcrum point from which the organization moves and constellates. So if a leader is stressed and tense, feels pressure to perform, they will channel that energy, send it out to their team will send it out to the employees, and it has this trickle down effect, a ripple effect. And vice versa, if a leader feels balanced, calm, supported, energized, they send that positive energy out into the field of their organization. It's very important that leaders have access to increasing their levels of awareness and consciousness. So oftentimes, leaders will suffer from a high level of stress, a great deal of responsibility or burden of having to take care of so many employees, of having to lead the organization. And oftentimes these leaders can feel isolated because people look to them for direction, for decision making. And it's not uncommon that leaders lack resources in dealing with their own stress. And when a leader is chronically carrying stress, it depletes the life force energy. So now you have a lower quality of sleep. You feel more anxious throughout the day, perhaps more scattered. You don't feel quite complete and settled in yourself. And this is why it's so essential that leaders learn how to develop a mindfulness practice, to develop true resilience to stress, to learn how to self-regulate challenging emotions that often come up in the business arena. Resilience comes from also our ability to be soft, to relax, to surrender, not necessarily to be hard in that level of, hardened strength, but a strength that comes from an inner softness. These are all aspects that lead to the overall energy of an organization. It's essentially about raising the vibration, raising the energy of a whole organism that starts from leadership. And when there's an opportunity to release the lower vibrations of stress and tension and anxiety and provide a space of safety, relaxation, and flow, you'll often see a heightened improvement in the level of productivity, focus, energy, motivation, inspiration of everyone, of all the employees. If you'd like to learn more about increasing the energy of your organization, taking a more mindful spiritual approach, please contact us at suraflow.org. We have a program called Leading Edge, which is a 6-week online program for executive teams. So we invite you to check out our offerings at suraflow.org. And thank you so much for listening. We hope to increase the levels of energy, awareness, and connection at the corporate workplace.